All right, we are joined by Igor of Remy Robotics. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, super good. Thanks.
Excited to talk about Remy and the different kind of robot delivery systems, robot kitchen ideas. You have a lot of things going on with robotics. Why don't you give us a gist of what you want to do there with Remy Robotics?
I founded the company in the late 2018 to apply the recent advances in AI and programmable software-defined robotics to the number one problem food service industry, which is labor shortage. And we built flexible robotic kitchens which can cook multiple food types, can fit any layout, any space, can work with different throughputs and capacities. So be really flexible and adaptive to multiple use cases of the industry.
And you've rolled that out already then, right?
Yep. So we have quite a decent commercial traction. We started with our own food delivery business. We run our own food delivery brands, which we sell through the major European delivery platforms, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Glovo, Just Eat. And we sell directly to consumers. And all our dark kitchens are fully autonomous, and all the food is cooked by the robots.
And I think I've seen some videos of it. It's pretty awesome. I just love how something on the website I thought caught my attention, which is not replacing chefs, but helping them essentially.
Yes, exactly. It was one of the key drivers and my vision. I really believe that the robots is not for substituting the chefs in kind of nice dining in restaurants, because we come there to get emotions, and emotions
Yes.
comes from humans. But in some spaces, in some applications, like first of all, dark kitchens, catering, the job is not that fancy and it's very hard. Then everybody is having fun and enjoying Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. These people work 12 hours long in very, very bad conditions. And this is the ideal space for the robot to take on these jobs.
Got it. So you're working on the technology for those kitchens and for delivery. Anything else that
No.
you're kind of working on with like AI and stuff?
Look, this is why from the very beginning I made this point. So I came to this space from automotive, but not traditional automotive. It's also a very innovative startup. It's called Arrival, which is now a publicly listed company in New York, Nasdaq Stock Exchange. And at Arrival, we applied flexible adaptive robotics to assemble the vehicles in a different way, not to use a traditional legacy of industrial robot, because robots have been known for decades, but the main applications were very unflexible, hardware-driven industrial conveyor type robotics. And I decided to, seeing how the technology has evolved with software-defined programmable robots, with artificial intelligence, robot perception, I realized it's the right time to apply it to much more social impactful spaces of food. But at the same time, it's much more complicated space, because the food is all about details. It's not about physical limitations of the humans. It's all about details. And if you keep applying the old legacy methods, you will end up with the same type of conveyor approach or vending machines which we see on the market. But they are very limited. They are
Right.
super expensive. They can cook just one type of the food at a time. They are not flexible from, again, throughput, capacity, and layout. It's just a container or a box which you put. And from the very beginning, we invest a lot into this flexibility. And at the end of the day, even though we start with our own B2C business around the delivery, because it was the right space to start, we can speak why a little bit later. But our main application is the robotic kitchen as a service, meaning we can apply it to much bigger food service space in general, to catering, to quick
Right.
service restaurants, to other type of application, hotels, airport lounges, universities, because our
Right.
solution can cook multiple type of the food and can be really flexible.
So it's that smart robotics.
It's smart. I call it true robotics, yeah, because there is no kind of right term
Okay.
for this, but we do use deep tech. So our robots can identify and recognize the object, the environment, and for example, if you in one restaurant it can be triangular shape, but if in another restaurant you have a L shape of the space, the robots will recognize the
Right.
environment, and you don't need to rebuild the solution from scratch. It's all software defined.
Yeah, I was actually just, and this is a little on topic, but I was just watching a Blade Runner 2049. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's an incredible sci-fi film. And the robots in there, and yeah, robotics in this sci-fi future we always see, they're smart. They understand the space that they're in. And there's, like you said, the vending machine is just so old school, and it just does one thing and doesn't understand if the customer is hitting the button differently or anything. So for me, I love a future like that where the robots can actually understand their environment and be smart about, how they
But
make
Carlos,
things.
but there is a but, and very important but, and this is, I think, the main mistakes most of the food robotics startups are making. If you apply even true or smart robotics in a straightforward way, just trying to automate the existing methods and cooking processes and tools, it's not going to work. Because again, we should understand that the level of robots' maturity right now is not that advanced as people. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what might be super easy and efficient for humans is very difficult for robots, and vice versa. And in the world where everything was designed by humans for humans, there is just a little space for robots, and it's very difficult to build a commercially viable solution. And most of the startups end up building just or automating just a single process, like flipping the burgers. But again, can you gain a mass market adoption with one single process automation? Because if tomorrow you need to do some
Right.
steering, it will take you additional 2 years of R&D, or again, vending type of machine. And our point here that to really gain mass market adoption and really solve labor shortage problem, you need to put robots at the center. And build robot-centric business, and trying to maximize their advantages while limiting their limitations and disadvantages. That's why it's not just about smart robotics, it's also about culinary engineering. And in our case, and it's not about kind of fancy Michelin star chef, it's really about engineers from food science or culinary side, which
Right.
reinvent the new cooking methods, framework, and techniques for the robots to make them as much efficient as they can.
Yeah, it's the holistic approach. It's like looking at the whole picture,
Yeah.
it seems like. So what is on the horizon for Remy Robotics? What's something that you're working on right now or is about to come out that you're kind of excited about?
Look, we passed product market fit stage for our own B2C business. Selling the food
Okay.
through our own virtual brand. But again, as I said, our solution is not limited just to our own B2C and not to delivery. I can give you one example. What does it mean? So first of all, we built the recipe for robots, and it's software defined. So each recipe is equation based on multiple parameters like static, weight, recipe, density, viscosity, but as well as dynamic. State of a meat, medium, rare, and also time to eat. So in case of delivery, then the order comes and we know that the customer is 20 minutes away, the robot will undercook this particular dish.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it knows it's 20 minutes away, and it will let this dish to be cooked while on the go. But in case of dining in, this time to eat will be 5 minutes, because it will be taken, replated, and delivered to the customer right away. So, and from the very beginning, the architecture and the features of our solution allows to do such type of things. So it's not just delivery; it's a dining in. And of course,
Got it.
we want to open up our solution as a kitchen as a service for multiple food operators and food service industry, because it's much bigger and the problem is there. And right.
That's the B2C, and you're working with B2B as well, right?
Exactly, and for most of the startups, kind of everything the environment requires, you need to be focused who you are, B2C or B2B. But in our case, we are saying, look, this is the power of deep tech. This is the power of flexibility. For us, it's not like lack of focus. Everything is technology based. We are not hiring thousands of people for one direction or for another direction. It's all about technology and mainly about autonomy. And for us, it's just a different application or a sales channel, because the solution
Right.
is literally autonomous.
Yeah, you're creating the I want to call it alphabet, but the kind of thing that you can use for both, and that's not, why limit yourself when you can use it for B2C or B2B.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is all exciting. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Remy Robotics before I go to my last and final question?
Look, of course, robotics is very, very complicated, and it's very capital intensive space. And as I said, you need to apply it right from very beginning. We also started trying to cut pizzas or assemble the burgers using multiple mechanical dispensers, as many other startups are doing. But we quickly realized it's a very short time to market, but it's not scalable. Because at the end of the day, hardware is much more expensive than hardware at a scale. And we immediately switched to much more complicated deep tech based on AI, like true smart robotics application. And what we built, we're really very proud of, even though up until now we were in a stealth mode, be focused on the solution. But now then we got this commercial traction. It's the time to reveal what we have achieved applying this again multidisciplinary approach. Because from tech point of view, it's adaptive robotics, artificial intelligence, mechatronics. In our solution, every piece of equipment is smart and connected. So it's not just about manipulating arms which moving the food around. We have full traceability, because we know at every second the temperature at every freezer, at every fridge. We know everything from our oven and even from delivery shelf. So everything is super interconnected, and there is a certain kind of set of applications for kitchen automation or ERP system for the kitchens. In our case, it's not needed because it's essentially built into our solutions. It's autonomous, so we don't need to add any additional efforts to collect any data. So everything is there. And the main point here, it's also about culinary engineering. Without reinventing new methods, new tools, in a new way of cooking, you are not able to make such type of flexible solution with the current level of robotics maturity.
Yeah, I think the word I caught there that I really sums it up for me is the adaptability, and I think that's something that I see a lot of companies not looking at, because they're, I think you said it earlier, like working on just one solution for one particular food issue, and then they're not looking at the, like we said, holistic kind of approach. So,
but also, if you allow me, but also real autonomy, because it's very easy to sell we're autonomous, and it's very easy to build a trajectory from point A from point B. But the real autonomy comes then you can handle multiple real-life exceptions. What if a fly cross the trajectory of the robot? What if it drops the ingredient, the package, or whatever? How you can handle it? And only with the help of AI-powered robotics you can handle such type of exceptions.
Right. So it's not just adapting, but it's also like understanding and knowing what it should do when it's the fly flies by, which is a weird example, but I think that happens because that's a kitchen. Yeah. Weird things happen in kitchens.
What about cleaning? What it drops the package and it spills? So
it goes everywhere. Yeah. These are great examples that we need fixes for, and that's what Remy Robotics is doing. Listen, I have my final question for you. And I'm excited about Remy Robotics. I'm going to keep following up on it here at the Spoon. We will check up with you guys. But what else are you excited about just in general when it comes to like the future of food and technology?
I will probably a little contradict to myself because I really believe we can help with labor shortage in general. But I started the company with the food delivery in mind, because even though pandemic boosted it a lot, but it's still very, very far away from being super reliable, being inexpensive. So on average, people use food delivery like 4 times a month because it's still very expensive. You still need to order in advance. And even though there is a hype, no one in this space has found a sustainable business model yet. Delivery service providers are struggling and trying to build economy of scale. Virtual restaurant operators are also kind of struggling, and there are just a couple outliers who can really as a sustainable business model. And without the help of disruptive technology, there is no way out. And I really believe that robotics can make it better, cheaper, reliable, and then in the future it will be connected with autonomous delivery. It will be kind of
Right.
the amazing, super precise service in the way it should be. This is what I believe in, because young generation, they don't want to cook, and again,
They don't. Yeah, I mean they should, but they don't. It's good for you, young people listening. Yeah, I think that that's the future that I want as well too. I mean, you can have both, right? You can cook and enjoy cooking, but there is 5 days a week or 7 days a week that you don't want to
exactly.
be, cooking, and you want something that's autonomously delivered to you and easily, and like you said earlier, it's still warm. It's still like something that you can rely
It should
on.
be the same reality like Uber taxi ordering. You don't need to think in advance. You know that if you push a button, then you're just about to leave. The cup will be there. But with the food delivery, you
Yeah.
still need to think in advance. Then you need to plan your budget because it's still very expensive. I really believe in that kind of future. Then, as you said, the key word here is to enjoy cooking. Then you want to get some joy around it. Yes, you can invite friend and do it. But on everyday basis, you just want to push a button and get it.
Yeah. Especially, yeah, because it's crazy. You think about it, we have to eat every day. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's like, I don't want to think about it today. I just want to push a button and let Remy Robotics help me out. Well, Igor, thanks so much for being here on The Spoon, and we're really excited to follow up with you in the
No, it's
future.
an honor. Thank you very much. I'm very glad you invited me.
Oh, we're glad to have you, and I'm excited about your future.